Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Fintoo and you're watching Friday First Cut series. I am Nidhi Manchanda, Certified Financial Planner and Head of Training, Research and Development at Fintoo. In today's video, we'll be discussing about asset allocation, its benefits and why is it important for you to opt for asset allocation. So for more details, stay tuned till the very end of this video. Let's start with the very basic, as in what exactly is asset allocation. So asset allocation is nothing but diversifying your investments across different asset classes. Let's understand this with the help of an example. When we eat food, we need our macro and micronutrients. Now when it comes to this, we need protein, we need carbs, we need fats, we also need vitamins and minerals, and only when we get these things in the right proportion, our health is maintained. In the similar way, when we talk about our finances, we need to make our investments in different asset classes, and we cannot just invest everything into one particular asset class to maintain our financial health. As we cannot be healthy by just eating proteins or by just eating carbs, in the similar way, we cannot be financially healthy if the entire concentration of our portfolio lies in one particular asset class itself. So it is suggested that you should not be investing everything into one particular asset class. You might have heard a lot of times that don't put all your eggs into one basket. So we'll have to follow this rule and we'll have to diversify our investments in different asset classes. Now what are these asset classes? Basically we have equity, we have debt, we have cash or cash equivalents, and we can invest into gold or commodities and alternate assets. So you should have a portfolio wherein you have certain exposure to all these asset classes in the right proportion. Now coming to the benefits of asset allocation and why is it important. Now when we talk about its benefit, the major thing is that when you are diversifying across asset classes, even when one of the asset classes is not performing that great, your overall portfolio will not be affected in a greater sense. But if you are concentrated on one particular asset class itself and that asset class is not performing or it is underperforming, then your entire portfolio will get that impact and that impact would be major. Now let us understand how different asset classes have performed in the past. Now if you see a table which you'll be able to see on the screen right here. Here we are showing you the data from 2012 till 2021. Now if you see, the best performing asset class is not constant throughout. So let's say if you talk about 2012, mid caps were outperforming and was the best performing asset class there. In 2013 it was international asset class. In 2014 it was small cap, then credit risk. In 16 it was government securities. Currently if 2021 talk about, then it is small cap which has outperformed. But it's not consistent throughout. Also if you look at just one of the asset class, let's say if we look at just the small cap, in the last 10 years you can see the small cap has been the best performer in 4 years. But at the same time, if you see the bottom line as well, there has been 3 years when it was the least performing asset class as well. So if you're trying to find out the best performing asset class in future and you're thinking that you'll be investing your money only into that particular asset class to get the maximum returns, then you're doing the biggest mistake, because you will not be able to find out the best performing asset class throughout the coming years. It will keep on changing and thus it depends how well diversified your portfolio is. So it makes sense to actually do a proper asset allocation and follow diversification when you're doing your investments. Another important thing that you should keep in mind while doing your asset allocation, let's say you are allocating 60% into equity asset class. Under equity also there are certain options to invest. Let's say you can go directly towards equity investment in the stock market, or you can invest through mutual funds. In mutual funds also you have options maybe to go for large cap fund or a mid cap or a small cap or a large and a mid cap or a multi cap. So there are a lot of options. Based on your risk appetite and risk tolerance, you need to figure out under that particular asset class itself where should be your exposure towards the investments. I hope it is clear, and moving on, let's understand some of the factors that determine your decision of your asset allocation, that how much should be in equity, how much should be in debt, gold, real estate, etc. So the first factor is age. So if you are very young, your more exposure towards equity can be there and a limited exposure to debt assets. Second important factor is your time horizon. So let's say if more of your goals are long term, then you can actually look at a higher exposure to equity and a lower exposure to debt. But at the same time, if more of your goals are short term, then you should have more exposure to debt and less exposure to equity. The third factor is number of dependents. So if more people are dependent on your income, then you cannot take much higher risk, and that is the reason more exposure towards debt is recommended than equity, and vice versa. The last factor is risk profiling. So if you are a conservative investor, your asset allocation will have more of debt and less of equity, and if you are more towards an aggressive investor, then you will have more of equity and less of debt. So that is how there are certain factors which you can make use of and find out your own asset allocation strategy, and it will definitely help you to diversify your investments, and overall your portfolio will earn good returns in the long term. I hope it is now clear. For any further query related to your asset allocation, or if you need any assistance to devise your own asset allocation strategy, feel free to get in touch with our finance experts, and for more such videos, do subscribe to our channel.